What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We have a lovely video today. I've been on a roll and I've been back. So I've been uploading more consistently. And I keep running across videos I had to react to months ago and I just never did. And I'm trying to get the chance now. So I feel like it happened for a reason. So I'm going to react to it. And the channel reacting from today's Dad Saves America. It's my first time reacting to any of his videos. Shout out to him. And the title says, School Feminizes Boys and Traumatizes Girls. Mm. It sounds like a good title, good conversation to have. We're gonna get into it. Let's go. Shout out to that brother over here again. Let's go.
How much is school broken?
If we're going to talk about little boys, then we've feminized little boys in making them sit in circle time at a very early age, earlier and earlier. Pre-K used to be not earlier. In my day, it was 1 year before kindergarten, 4. At 4 years old, you went to pre-K 3 days a week, 3 hours a day.
Yeah, that's what I.
And sometimes your mommy sat in the background and watched you play, so you could do what Margaret Mahler called rapprochement, which is go do emotional refueling and go get a hug and then go back to play, sort of like
I've heard
Mommy
this.
and me.
You sort of go off,
Yeah.
and that circle actually grows. You first get there, you're attached, then you make a quick little run, and you come back.
That's right.
And then you get a little further out, and then maybe by the end of the day, you're not running back so much because you're
That's
playing
it.
with friends.
Gives you the courage to explore. But what's happened is, for economic and practical reasons, I would say for adult reasons, it's gotten pushed back earlier and earlier. Parents want to go to work. They want to go to work full time. Some of
I will say something. So first, I'm gonna talk about the feminization of boys, right? And how school program boys to be more feminine, right? So men are supposed to be of action. We're supposed to go out to get things done, right? We gotta fall on our faces and get up and realize, why did I fall on my face? And we have to take action consistently every time and just take action, 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 action. That's what it is about. And when you have young boys in a classroom sitting down and you want them to focus on something you're doing, you just sit down and lay back and just listen. That is not what men do. Men are action takers. We need to be out there seeking to do things, seeking to do stuff. Women sit back and listen. That is a feminine thing to do. That is why women can sit down for hours and hours and just talk and gossip all day. As a man, you cannot sit down and talk and talk. You have to get out there and do things, actually. But due to the fact that school has feminized you so much, to you, it's okay to sit down and conversate about nothing, gossip like a woman, when that is not your place. And secondly, the reason why it's pushed back so early for kids to go to school is that the government want full control of the kids, and then you have to go to work. The mom and the dad have to go to work. So for 8 hours, who's policing your kids? Who is guiding your kids in the right direction? Who's selling the propaganda to your kids? Right? What is the agenda of the people teaching your kids? Right? So that's what you have to understand. And that's why they want the kids to go to school earlier so they can control these kids. They can sell them whatever propaganda they want. And the kids will believe it because the kids are naive. They don't know what is right from wrong. Right? They're oblivious to it. So whatever they tell them, the kids will believe because to the kids, that is who's teaching me whatever they teaching me. So I'm gonna listen to them because it makes sense because I don't know good from bad. I only know what the elders taught teach me. Whatever they tell me, I have to agree with it because they live life before me already. So that's how kids see it. And that's why they want kids to come to school earlier at a younger age, actually.
of them have to go to work full time. So it's gotten pushed back. So preschool is really daycare. It's not preschool. And it starts as early as 14 months. So at 14 months, you're putting a little boy who's meant to be running around and toddling and knocking towers down and building, and what we call build, destroy, build, building towers,
The
destroying them,
most
building
fun
them
sequence
again.
I've ever known.
Yes, build, destroy, build. And they're meant to be roughhousing and learning about the world through physical exploration. So instead, we feminize boys by making them sit like little girls in circle time. And even
Exactly.
little girls can't sit in circle time.
How
Absolutely.
distinct is the boy versus the girl in terms of these impulses? Because I know it's not wholly separate. There's an overlap, right?
Little boys who are between 3 and 5 years old have surges of testosterone almost as much as in adolescence.
Wow.
And so they,
Hmm,
yes,
I didn't
and
know
so
that.
they need to run and jump and push and explore, and they're not getting to do that. Instead, they're sitting quietly and they're going crazy. So basically what we're seeing is distractibility in a lot of these little boys is just stress, because what we're doing is by forcing a little boy who's meant to be running and jumping and playing physically and learning about the world physically to sit quietly in circle time, the frustration tolerance is not there. Right? So we're doing that to little boys and we're labeling them. And then if they can't sit in circle time, the school calls parents and says, your child has ADHD. We'd like to medicate your child.
Right.
That is and that's the problem because now the parents give the responsibility and the power to the school. So now the school can call you and tell whatever they want about your son or daughter, and they're gonna believe it. And that's why a lot of the times young boys skip class because they doing something outside themselves. Even me, when I used to go to school, sometimes I didn't want to go to school. Sometimes I spent an extra 5 minutes in the bathroom. Right. But it wasn't like I just wanted to be a bad kid, but just sitting down and listening and not doing nothing, especially with high level of testosterone. I have things like I don't want to sit down and just listen and being talked to the whole time. I want to do something. Right. And that's why a lot of the boys will drop out and get a job and start doing something because you want to be physical, you want to take action because that's what you want to do. Because it's in him to be like that. And that's why we have such a problem in school. And that's why boys do way much, worse in school than women. So that's why.
So does that suit the schools? Of course it does. It suits the schools because they get a quiet little passive sedated boy. Okay. That's a problem. The other problem is that we're pushing cognitive learning, left brain learning, before social emotional learning. Play, in the word kindergarten, meant garden of children. That's what it means. A garden of children is not sitting in circle time learning letters and numbers. A garden of children is building towers and knocking them down, is
Climbing
doing
trees.
imaginary play, is
Finger
putting
paint.
on princess clothes, is finger paint, is playing with Play-Doh and clay. It's meant to be free play. And you learn through free play and imaginary play things like frustration tolerance, conflict resolution. You work through a lot of areas of conflict resolution through play. And so we've taken that away from children and replaced it with left brain. So I think of the analogy as it would be like left brain learning before social emotional learning, or right brain learning is like putting your shoes on before your socks.
So you talked about how boys are getting feminized, which is for many going to sound inflammatory.
Wouldn't be the first time I said something that was inflammatory.
What's happening for girls? Are girls, I mean, I know this. We've had Warren Farrell on the show, who's the author of The Boy Crisis, and he really led the way on pointing out that in every measurable statistic you have on boys and men, they're not doing great. They're not doing great with health, with wellness, with life expectancy, with criminality, with educational attainment, with employment. Women are kicking our butts. But is there stuff about the school system that's also bad for girls too, or is it better suited to girls?
It's better suited to girls, but girls are struggling
Absolutely.
socially. Girls are cracking under the pressure to be perfect. So girls are incredibly self-conscious. There's a part of the brain called the amygdala, which is the stress regulating part of the brain. It's a little almond-shaped part of the brain, the oldest part of the brain. It lies very deep in the limbic system, and it's meant to be very diminutive and not very active in the first 3 years, and then it's meant to come online slowly. Because of all the stress that we're imposing on kids to be high achieving and read and do math, and so girls tend to be more perfectionistic than boys in general because
Absolutely.
their amygdalas are on fire. It's the threat sensing part of the brain. They're very aware and very self conscious about judgment of teachers.
It is so important because I was just having a conversation about this with one of the guys I work with, and I told him on how like women are like so like the fear of being judged, it means like something to them so badly, no matter what it is. And he was like, he wasn't disagreeing with me, but he had a point to like kind of fight what I said or deflect what I say. And it's like that's why women always try to present themselves in such a good way, no matter how much things she's done in the past already. Right, or some of the things that take part in the past, she always try to present herself in a good way. Right? So no matter who the woman is and what she's done, she will always present herself in a good way. So you could see her in a good way. Right? So you can always so the way she present herself would make you see as, oh, she's a good person. She doesn't do certain things. Right? She's a woman who follow God, who reads the Bible, who is innocent. Because that's how she presents herself to you. So that's why they wear makeup, right? They do their hair, they dress nicely, they always want to smell good. Just to present themselves in a good way. So people could always think that they're good people when some of them are truly not good people. So that's more what it is.
Judgment of parents, wanting to be good. So, all that stuff about the good little girl, that has to do actually with a gender
Good little
difference. The
girl.
idea that girls are very sensitive to wanting to conform, to wanting to be good, to wanting to be perfect. And what we've done by making the
Mhm.
educational environment so achievement oriented and perfectionistic is we have turned up the volume in their amygdala. So by the time they get to adolescence, they break down because they just can't take it. It's like a robot going, I got to get an A, I got to get an A, I got to get an A, and they literally break down. So girls are breaking down from the pressure, the academic pressure, because they feel this tremendous judgment on them.
If you like this clip, we've got more where that came from. Be sure to watch the full video.
So like that was a nice video. I feel like this young lady spoke on it good enough to where I don't really have to say nothing, but I agree with a lot of the things she said. Right. And if the school is one thing I'll say before I leave, school is not something that's there to help you become a good person. School is here to make you a worker, a slave, an employee, right? That's what school is there for. School is not there to teach you how to make a business, teach you financial skills, teach you how to become a good person, right? They don't teach you how to speak. They don't teach you how to be a leader. School don't do none of these things. All it's there to do is to make you be a follower and do what everybody else is doing. So, when you come to the realization and well, school is not something that is really pushing you forward. It's all make believe, it's all pretending, right? And a lot of people haven't realized that, but when you do come to the realization that school is bullshit and it's all there just for control and creating workers, that's all it's there for, nothing more. But if you like the video, leave a like, comment. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love. Take care.